beautiful humans. Welcome to Woke Culture Daily for July 30th, Thursday. I'm Princess India. If you're new, welcome to my channel, my friends, you know what I'm saying, family, welcome back. We're going to be following our same format where we're going to do our air signs, our water signs, fire signs, and then earth signs, and each sign gets a card, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for July 30th, good old Thursday, July 30th. Spirit, anything that all 12 signs need to know, anything of utmost importance, I ask that come to the forefront in this here reading. As always, I thank you in advance, Spirit, because it may be fortunate. I'm shaking. So let's go ahead and cut our deck here. Pay no mind to my bum hand over here. Princess cares so much about aesthetics. She's like, yeah, we're not doing this. Don't read these in the reverse, so don't be alarmed if you see me turning them over. So we have a Gemini, we have Libra, we have Aquarius. Let me just sit them down. We have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And at the bottom of our deck, we have perfection. Isn't that wonderful? It's an interesting little thing we got going on there. I can say for all signs, what is important is not being too hard on yourself or being too hard on others, not judging yourself too harshly, your emotions, anything of the sort, or judging others too harshly. And I say the whole part of, judging others too harshly, because the judgments that we make of others are merely just judgments of ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, Gemini, you guys have complacency. Ooh, Gem. Okay, here is the deal. For my Geminis on today, I feel you guys could be a little stuck, and the stuckness is going to be related to your emotional space. It's a level of disappointment you guys may experience on today, or best case scenario, it may be a disappointment you guys experienced some time ago, and it's more or less coming to the head today. Because ideally, I would like to say that you guys are coming to more or less of a realization in reference to a disappointment, because I feel something not quite panning out the way that you had hoped it did. There's a level of being too hard on yourself. So ideally, I would like to say it's wrapping up, but worst case scenario is on today, something kind of does not pan out the way that you hope that it did. So the most important takeaway for my Geminis on today is to not be so overcritical or judge yourself so harshly, because I'd like to say that more or less what didn't pan out, it didn't pan out for your highest good. So it's ultimately going to be in your benefit, even if it doesn't feel that way now. But I do sense this element of the potential for you guys kind of going in on yourself because, thinking that you did something wrong, or, I could have done better, or whatever the case may be. It's more or less of accepting whatever it is that didn't go the way that you hoped, but not letting yourself get stuck there is the most important thing, because you got other things to do. I almost touched this with this hand. Libra, my Libras have the trickery card. So Libra, the thing that's important for you guys on today is it's something y'all need to get done, right? And that's motivated by your desire for it to be right, and for it to be right the first time, for there to not be mistakes, for it to be flawless. And there's an element of the potential for you guys to cut corners on today. So it's more or less, it's something that you're trying to create or get done or whatever. And I see just this lofty minded idea of what it is you guys are trying to do. But in order for you to do it that way, it's going to take more time than you're allowing yourself, right? So it's just important to not resort to or descend into insidious methods or manipulative tactics or anything of the sort to cut corners to get to the end goal quicker. I feel what needs to be released here is it's almost like an all or nothing, like backing yourself into a corner type of thing. And I feel that that's coming from that perfectionist energy. So it's either what you're trying to do doesn't need to be done in this short time frame that you're giving yourself, or it doesn't need to be as ideal as you're forcing yourself to make it out to be. You know what I mean? Like, it literally just doesn't have to be perfect, and you're just being a little too hard on yourself. But because of these self-imposed pressures, it's almost as if that's the perfect recipe to kind of lure you into doing something kind of underhanded. And I wouldn't advise that, like taking shortcuts, because it's gonna come back to bite you in the butt later. I'm just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, for my Aquarius people, you guys have the Vanity card. Aquarius, it's similar for you guys too. I get the sense with y'all on today, it's attempting to do too much, and you're trying to do too much, and you're trying to do that too much too right, if that's making sense. My tummy is growling, I'm hungry, I'm sorry, don't judge me. Anywho, but you guys are trying to do too much, and you're trying to do it flawlessly. Now, where the issue with this is there's the potential today of getting completely overwhelmed, you know? And that overwhelm is coming not from the multiple things you have your hand in. It's the fact that, I don't know, it's like a recipe for disaster is the best way that I can say it. Because it's like, you're already overloaded and taking on too much. So that's one thing, right? But it's the fact that with all of the stuff that you're doing, you're trying to do it to a level of pristine perfection. And perfectionism within itself is a whole nother animal. So that's like two burdens that you're carrying. And I feel that there's the potential today where, like, juggling a bunch of balls and everything falling. So this is more or less like a forewarning before that would happen, like before you get kind of swept under all of the stuff that you're trying to do, to kind of slow it down and take a step back. And I feel like I've said that to you guys earlier this week, that there's more or less a need to kind of slow down because you're doing too much, because a lot of that opens you up for accidents or something that's a minor problem, and not seeing that because you're, you know, all over the place. You know, or God forbid, you know, getting injured or something by just not paying attention. So the most important thing for my Aquarius people on today is, with all the stuff that you're doing, there's a need to kind of take a step back, because you're putting yourself at risk of getting very much overwhelmed, and that overwhelm would kind of null out everything it is that you're trying to get done. So slow it up, my friends. Now, for my Cancer people, you guys have the Victim card. So Cancer, on today, there could be a little, you know, woe is me kind of energy. Feeling sorry for yourself, or feeling like things never work out for you, or things never go the way that you desire them to go, or what have you. And I feel a lot of that has to do with, again, harsh, critical self-judgment. I don't really feel... It's not really so much, and even, I have to say this too, even if you were to feel you were taken advantage of, it's still not taking personal accountability for being taken advantage of, right? Which sounds kind of crazy to say, but it's more or less like, say if someone, you know, takes advantage of you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, like nothing aggressive here. I mean, just like, you know, you go on a date with someone and they lied about being married or something. I don't know. It's like something like that, as opposed to going into that self-defeatist mindset of like, all of these things always happen to me, and right? It's more or less taking responsibility for decisions you made. So it's more or less like you met this person, you had like a little vibe, you didn't listen to yourself, you know what I mean? And then you went ahead, kept dating the person, you found out that they were a jerk, and then like beating yourself up about it. But I feel the mindset to take away from this is more or less, it's just acceptance. You know what I mean? Like nothing in life is perfect. Everything doesn't always pan out the way that we desire it to pan out. People aren't always who they show themselves to be. You know what I mean? So it's more or less a need to accept that, to stop beating yourself up over it, and to move forward. And I know that sounds hella harsh to say to a Cancer person, but I mean, that's what I'm seeing, because it's just, it's like a self-deprecation. Sorry, y'all, just got a text. It's a self-deprecation thing going on here. And I feel a lot of that, because taking into account y'all had the death card yesterday, it's more or less, this is something happening inside of you that's holding you back, because it's holding yourself too much to a standard. It's a maladaptive thought process, honestly, but it's more or less about this mindset. It's not necessarily what's happening, it's how it is that one is perceiving what's happening, if that makes sense. And I feel that's something that needs to be dealt with on today. I mean, you can't just pull a mindset out, but meaning that this is something you guys want to start doing work on, because I feel that it's kind of overshadowing your experience, because I'm not seeing this energy for Cancers on today, more or less in a sense of scenarios. I mean, other than this being someone that you guys know that's always like, woe is me, and you're always rescuing them. It's almost like this mindset is overshadowing any type of situational thing that I could usually see. And I feel the reason for that, like this mindset is pronouncing itself, because it's almost like me getting a glimpse of how you guys are seeing your experience. So you're not able to see what's really happening, because this mindset is blocking you from doing that, if that's making sense. Now, for my Pisces people, you guys have prayer. Say a little prayer today, Pisces. No, I'm just kidding. For my Pisces people on today, I feel there's a sense of a course correction. And I feel that, and this is a lot like what I said for you guys yesterday, of the path being clear, this is a refusal to accept, right? Because it's more or less having a hard idea or perception of how it is that you intended to go forward, or how you wanted things to go forward. And I feel that there was more or less like a course correction, or there is a course correction on today, and it's still this element of holding yourself back from what could be like a path you could take on today, because it's being so married to a particular method or place or something along those lines. It reminds me of what I said last week. I don't think it was with you guys. It might have been, where I was saying like a person graduates from college, and the only place that you want to work is Google. So you don't apply anywhere else, and you put your entire life on hold waiting to hear from Google to answer you back about the job, but not like applying for anything else. I feel for you guys, it's like something has kind of shifted, and it's going in a direction you didn't expect it to go. But the old path or opportunity is nullified, and you can move forward, which is what I was forewarning you guys about yesterday. But it's a stance you're taking with yourself. It's you're holding yourself back. It's a fear-based energy that isn't allowing you to go forward. So biggest takeaway from my Pisces people on today is more or less to reattune to your spiritual base, to give you a sense of security and peace so that you can move forward. Because it's almost with my Pisces people, you guys feel like you're existing outside of a time frame, because the past isn't here anymore. and you're not moving forward. So you're kind of in this limbo kind of vibe. So more or less, you guys takeaway for today is more related to you guys' judgments of yourselves and a refusal to let go and accept the path that's opening itself for you, you know? And I feel that that would really behoove you if you took this opportunity that's open for you, you know what I'm saying? But Scorpio people, you guys have miracle. So my Scorpio people, kind of similar. I feel for this on today with you guys, there is kind of something that is staring you in the face potentially. More or less like an option or an opportunity, or I don't want to necessarily say gift, because it's kind of like, it's not very blatant in your face, but if you guys are judging it too harshly, it's almost like something that's being given to you guys on today. And if you judge it too harshly out of fear, you know what I mean? Like kind of like past experiences and things of the sort. Because whatever this is, it's something that's new, but it's not taking advantage of an opportunity because it's judging it too harshly. Like kind of saying that's too good to be true type of deal. So, and this is so like out of the box, but it's like, you know, if somebody offered you like a house or something like that, and it's like, hey, here's a house, you can live here for free, no mortgage, nothing, here's the deed type of deal, right? And it's being like, I don't know, this is too good to be true. You know what I mean? So you're just gonna give me a house? I mean, I would be really suspicious if somebody just like gave you a house like that. But I'm saying like in that vein, it's like, it's something, and I hate to even use the word miraculous, but it's something really dope that's in alignment with what you want. It's an opportunity that would behoove you, but it's the potential of missing the opportunity because it's judging it too harshly. But I still feel like that kind of goes back to how I said in the beginning with the perfection card of its harsh self-judgments, and keeping in mind that our judgments of other people are only reflections of ourselves. So to say something's too good to be true is really saying it's too good to be true for me because I don't deserve this, in so many words. You feel what I'm saying? So be conscious of that on today. Now for my Leos, you guys have discovery. So Leos, I feel for you all on today, this is yet another harsh self-judgment going on, but I feel for you guys, it's more in relation to partnerships with people. It's feeling not good enough or less than, or not really understanding why. And I'm saying this from the perspective I'm seeing, because I'm thinking about you guys yesterday too with the Four of Pentacles. It's feeling as if I don't measure up. I'm not good enough. But I feel that mindset comes from your experience with other people. And today it's more or less about a shift in perspective, where it's not about things not working out with other people and that being a judgment of you or saying something negative about you as a person. It's more or less that the people that you were dealing with, whether it's, you know, parents, friends, relationships, whatever the case may be, it's needing to realize that how other people treat you says more about them than it does about you. So just like how I said with judgments, we judge other people, it's a statement about us. How other people treat you is a statement about them. So it's more or less coming to the realization that the people or the person or the situation, circumstance that is kind of, you know, ruffling you guys' feathers on today, it's not saying anything about you. It's not saying that you're not enough, you're not good enough, or what have you. It's about the other person being incapable to be, do, or, you know, have whatever it is that you're trying to copulate with them, if you will. So it's important for my Leos on today to not judge yourself so harshly and to try to see the situation from a different perspective, right? Now for my Aries people, you guys have the creation card. I don't know what Aries people about to pop off with, but man, y'all about to do something dope. I feel a little bit of Self-doubt popping up with my Aries people on today. Again, judging yourself way too harshly. I felt this vibe. Yesterday, y'all had the Hierophant reverse. So I was saying it's releasing yourself from like an oppressive type of feeling. So that could literally be a creative block and you guys doing something innovative and kind of trailblazing. But I feel today it's kind of you guys going in the direction of that, but it's a little bit of self-doubt because maybe what it is you guys are being led to do, it hasn't been done before, or there's some level of innovation to it. And the thing that's important to note is that, you know, when you're doing something that's never been done before, you can't really get kudos or cosigns from people. You just have to really take the chance. But I feel for my Aries people, you're being too hard on yourself, and being so hard on yourself is the only thing that's holding you back. So it's more or less, you know, if you guys were moving from an oppressive force externally, like we talked about yesterday, then today it would more or less be this battle within oneself, you know, and it's imperative to allow your intuition to guide you. But I've literally been saying this to y'all since like last week, but it's needing to trust your gut to follow the inclination you guys are feeling now, right? And to freaking slay Aries, because I don't know what y'all about to pop off with, but it's about to be dope. It's just don't be so hard on yourself. Because I do feel a sense of comparing and contrasting what you're doing, or the fact that you're looking for something as inspiration and you don't really see it, you know what I mean? But go full gusto, because you wouldn't have the idea if it wasn't meant for you to act on it, my friend. Sagittarius has impasse. So Sag, on today, you guys are going to run into a block. Man, this is real prevalent. This is real like head energy for everybody today. You guys are gonna run into a block on today, but the thing that's most important is to not let that throw you off kilter, similar to how it is for my Pisces people. For today, it's a certain order you expected to do things in, or a certain way that you want to go about things, whether that's like traffic or, you know, whatever, or some emergency that kind of pops up you have to deal with. But the whole key is here, and I said this similar for Libras on yesterday. The whole key is here is adaptability, right? And understanding or implementing the principle of everything working out in your highest good. Because I feel there's the potential with this block that happens today, or things just not going the way that you expected them to. You're gonna go potentially into a spiral and start thinking super negative and let the energy tack on to y'all's other kind of stuff. The thing is here is, got another message there. But anywho, the main thing is here is to not let that shake you or to throw you off kilter. This is very fascinating. I got a message for all fire signs. To not let it throw you off kilter because it's working in your favor. So don't let any hiccups on today kind of throw you guys off, you know? All fire signs, the full moon is on, what is it? Is it the 3rd? It's this weekend. That's gonna be important for you guys. Whatever it is that my Leo people, my Aries people, or my Sagittarius people are dealing with, like this week, I feel that's kind of coming to a head. It's coming to a head for this full moon because, and I'm sorry, rest of the signs. I mean, I don't see that for y'all, but I mean, I gotta go with a sheet, you know what I'm saying? But for my fire sign people, it's like a crescendo, I guess. It's like everything's been leading up to this point for you all. And I feel like that point is, I believe it's Sunday. I think it's August 3rd with the full moon. So it's more or less something's gonna become very clear with you guys, but I feel it very much in an element of there needing to be something shed. Like it's something all of you all have been holding onto, but this thing is a hindrance. Like it's not helping. So it's almost as if you're on the cusp of a rebirth, and stepping into authenticity, you know what I mean? And it's just that whole element of innovation, trailblazing, and authenticity, all of these nice little adjectives that I'm sensing for y'all. And I feel all that comes to a head this weekend. But the why everything has been operating this way is for that purpose, right? It's imperative for you guys to understand that. And for Leo to ground themselves, for Aries to unground themselves, and for Sagittarius to properly channel your energy. Because I feel with Sagittarius, I'm so sorry, y'all, this is just coming out, I gotta say it. With Sag, I feel like you guys have so much potential, but why it's so important to gain this self-control and boundaries and principles to live your life by is because, as opposed to your energy being this powerful force to be reckoned with, it's like it's spitting all over the place. You know what I mean? Because it's just foolishness, like petty foolish things that happen, and you give your energy to it. You know what I mean? And it ends up setting you back farther than I think you're realizing. So that's really the challenge for you guys, is getting fire sign people to where they need to be. Why y'all got that message? I don't know. Just the messenger. Moving right along to my Capricorns. Capricorn, you guys have the rejection card. And I'm thinking about what I said for y'all yesterday. I can't really remember what it was, but I feel like that's important. So if you didn't watch yesterday, you might want to go watch yesterday. But anywho, but for my Capricorn people, the thing that's important for you guys on today is to approve of yourself, is what I'll say. It's more or less, and this is another specific message. This would be like, I mean, you could be a dude or a chick, it doesn't matter. And I don't even know where Spirit going with this, but I'm just gonna say it. So the specific situation would be like a person who, like you're dating, like, and I'll just say like a girl, because it's easier for me to get it out, but it can go with anyone. So say it's like you're a girl and you know, you've always dated different people and stuff, like, you know, going on dates, getting to know people, but no one ever committed to you, right? Like no one ever made you their girlfriend, or no one's ever proposed to you or something like that. Similar to kind of like what I was saying with Leo, it's almost like there's like some sort of plateau with engagements with people or something like that. And it's allowing that to say something about you. But I feel for Capricorn specifically, even if that isn't your specific situation, it's just like that vibration of like this feeling of I get right here, but you never get to that next level. It has something to do with an external validation. It's like it's looking for people to say that you're greater, you're awesome, or someone to pick you and select you. And that's the missing link of you guys feeling this sense of validation. And because no one has done that, you're internalizing that lack of selection or picking as like a statement about you. You know what I mean? And the important thing for my Capricorn people is approving of yourself. It's like it's not, and similar to what I said with Sag too, it's a shift in perspective that needs to happen, because it's, you know, these people didn't pick you, or this job didn't pick you, not because you're not talented or smart or pretty or lovable. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that that wasn't the path you were supposed to take. That wasn't the job that was for your highest good. That wasn't the relationship that was for your highest good. And there's a need to shift. And I keep doing this because that's literally what I'm seeing. It's a need to look at the same situation from a different perspective. because the way that you're looking at it is motivated by a desire for someone external to you to say, like, I think you're dope. But my question to that is like, who the heck are they? You know what I mean? And it's really like a personal value thing where you put value on this person or these people, and your own like worth and value completely outweighs that because you live as you. You know what I mean? So I feel that's the thing that's holding my Capricorn people back. Is it's like waiting for permission or something for someone outside of you, and the whole purpose, the whole takeaway from this is you making that decision for yourself. You don't need anyone to validate you, in so many words. Now, my Taurus people, you guys have the guilt card. So the thing that's more or less this is interesting. The thing more or less, because I'm thinking about the last 2 days for Taurus, y'all not listening to spirit on one day, then the next day y'all not making the most of stuff. The thing that is holding my Taurus people back is the past on today. And I feel that's more or less coming to a head. Similar to what I've said for a lot of other signs, it's internalizing things that people have said about you in the past or different experiences that you've been through. And going back to like what I was saying yesterday, it's like the energy for you guys on like literally the whole month of July has been to push you into a certain direction. So it's like energies working with the Taurian collective at present. And it may be having a myriad of opportunities, a lot of possibilities that are available to you, and not really figuring out like why you're not taking advantage or how you can't, you know, get out of your own head, or how am I, you know, just letting this, whatever. But I feel it's because it's something you guys are carrying, and it's a self-perception type of thing. And it's almost like I said with Aries yesterday, like with this oppressive force, it's like the oppressive force being gone, but it still exists in your mind. So it's almost as if it's still there. You know what I mean? And it makes me think about like a bad relationship. Like if you were in a relationship with someone who always told you that, you know, you aren't good enough, you can't do this right, da 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 da, and then you leave the person, and you're still hearing that person's voice. So you're not being authentic to yourself because you're still acting in the vibration of that old perspective of yourself, if you will. So I feel the important thing for my Taurians on today is you're gonna be given an opportunity to recognize this, like, or even those of you, if you just want to jump right in and do, you know, some self-reflection and self-assessments and things, you know, just kind of looking at, you know, what is stopping me? Why am I not doing that? And I can give you a tip that I use for myself whenever I'm kind of trying to make a decision about something and I'm like, I don't know, right? I always ask myself, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you couldn't possibly fail? And the second I ask myself that, I'm like, oh, wow, I would do this, right? I always have an answer for it. And then I suddenly am like, damn it. Because it's like, well, sure, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So I think something like that would help you guys on today, because I feel it's a mental block or like a false obligation or something of the sort, but it's not anything that's really holding you back. It's just a perspective kind of thing. So I hope that makes sense to us. And lastly, we have our Virgos. Virgo, we have the service card. Virgos, I feel for you guys, and this is really interesting. It's almost like a level of, it's almost a level of an expectation that you guys have for yourself. I wouldn't necessarily say that for yourself per se. It's just, it's like a standard you guys are trying to live up to, or an image you're trying to project in so many words. And it's and this is so interesting because I don't think anyone outside of you guys would even have the least idea that you're even going through this. But it's like you're holding yourself to a certain standard or regard, and the standard you're holding yourself to isn't yours. Like it's somebody's. I don't know who it is. It might be your mama, daddy, job, whatever. But it's a standard nonetheless that doesn't come from you. So it's not taking into account your personal makeup, meaning this may be something that's not even obtainable for you because it's just that it didn't come from you. You know what I mean? So behind the scenes, you're, faking it till you make it, I guess is the best way I can say it. So this is what you're showing, but you're not there yet. And the thing that's preventing you from even getting close is the fact that you're like being hard on yourself that you aren't what it is that you're showing, if that's making sense. I don't know how to describe that. Like, it's not like impersonating. It's like, that's why I say fake it till you make it, because that's a little less, illegal or anything, but it's just a certain standard you guys are projecting, and behind the scenes you're working to try to get there, and you're hard on yourself because you're not there yet. But the reason why you're not there yet is because you're being hard on yourself. So it's almost like a self-defeating type of situation. You know what I mean? So the biggest takeaway for this today, Virgo, is more or less that who you are and where you are and what you're doing at present is enough, and really needing to dig deeper of whatever that standard is that y'all are trying to live up to, is where is that coming from, or who is that coming from, and why are you doing it? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you kind of get lost in the sauce trying to do something, and I think about just like when everyone goes to their first awakening and you realize that your entire life is the byproduct of programming from society, your parents, all that stuff. And it's like, you're like, why the heck am I even doing this? I don't even agree with this. It's that on a more mundane level. It's something that you've been conditioned into pursuing or being, and it's not even authentic to you. And it's simply just needing to ask yourself, why the hell am I even doing this in the first place? Like, what's the point? And I feel like that kind of block y'all are experiencing, this whole self-defeatist type of thing, it's like that cycle can potentially work in your favor because it's stopping you from getting too entrenched in whatever this is that y'all are pursuing. You know what I mean? So any little pause y'all have today, Virgo, just take a step back and ask yourself what you're doing and why. You know what I'm saying? I hope that this makes sense, y'all. But I love your faces. Today's Thursday. So those of you who are my members, the weekend love reading is going to be up on Patreon and YouTube members and on my website. But for my YouTube people that are non-members, I'm going to see you guys on Monday, unless you get a membership, just saying. Anyway, I love your face. I'll see you guys on Monday. Later.